Okay, what if I told you that the absolutely biggest match of the 2026 FIFA World Cup might not even be the final? I'm not talking about Brazil versus Germany, not France against England, not even Argentina versus Brazil.
Because hiding right there inside the tournament bracket is a matchup so massive, it could literally become the most watched football game in history. Seriously, if this happens, millions of fans around the whole world are going to stop whatever they're doing just to watch it unfold. But before we reveal exactly what that earth-shattering match is in this explainer, there's something absolutely crucial we need to understand first. A new era of chaos, the catalyst for 2026. You see, this tournament is going to be fundamentally different from literally any World Cup that came before it. For the very first time ever, 48 nations will be competing. More teams, more matches, more drama, and of course, more chaos. And as we all know, in football, chaos creates legends. Which brings us to the dangerous underdogs, rising threats on the global stage. Because honestly, every single World Cup delivers a wild story that absolutely nobody saw coming. Just think back for a second. In 2014, Germany completely destroyed Brazil, 7-1. Then in 2018, Croatia shocked the world by going all the way to the final. And in 2022, Morocco became the first African nation in history to reach a World Cup semifinal. Wild, right? So the real question for you is, who's going to shock the world in 2026? Well, a lot of fans believe it could be Japan. For decades now, they've been Asia's most consistent footballing nation. I mean, they've beaten Germany, they've taken down Spain, they've proven beyond a doubt that they can compete with the absolute best. But there's just one tiny problem. They've never actually made it past the round of 16. Every single time they reach the knockouts, the dream kind of just ends. But 2026 could finally change the narrative. Just imagine Japan knocking out a European giant and reaching the quarterfinals for the very first time. The entire football world would have absolutely no choice but to take them seriously. But hey, Japan isn't the only dangerous underdog out there. We've got to talk about Morocco, the team that basically changed African football forever. Look, what happened in Qatar, that wasn't just luck. It wasn't some miracle. It was a warning. Morocco proved that African football has entered a completely new era. They are fast, they're technical, and they are absolutely fearless. If they put together another deep run in 2026, I promise you, nobody is going to be calling them underdogs ever again. Next up, ghosts and global spectacles, historic grudges, and geopolitics. Let's escalate things a bit and talk about a matchup that could easily become one of the most emotional, high-stakes games of the entire tournament. Brazil versus Germany. Can you imagine these two powerhouses meeting again on football's biggest stage? On one side, you've got a team desperate for revenge, and on the other, a squad trying to prove that history repeats itself. The atmosphere in that stadium would be absolutely electric. Because, remember, 12 years ago, Brazil suffered the single most painful defeat in their football history, 7-1. A scoreline so unbelievable, we're literally still talking about it today. For Germany, it was an absolute masterpiece. But for Brazil, it was straight up trauma. A whole generation grew up haunted by that one night. But crazy enough, even that isn't the biggest story. There's another potential clash that carries just an enormous amount of global weight, the United States versus Iran. A match like this would draw millions and millions of viewers. And honestly, not just for the football. It's about everything surrounding it, right? The massive external pressure, the intense headlines, the geopolitical weight. It's moments exactly like this that make the World Cup so special. Football stops being just a sport. It becomes history. Which brings us to the ultimate last dance, the match that could break the internet. All right, here it is, the climax of this explainer, the matchup literally every football fan on the planet has been waiting for. For almost 20 years, you and I and football fans everywhere have argued over one simple question. Who is the greatest player of all time? Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo? This debate has literally created friendships, destroyed friendships, sparked absolute wars in comment sections, and morphed into the biggest rivalry in the history of sports. Yet somehow, despite all of that, these two absolute legends have faced each other exactly 0 times in a FIFA World Cup. Not even once. Crazy, right? The 2026 World Cup might just be the very last opportunity for this to happen. The final chapter. Just picture the scene for a second. A massively packed stadium. Millions, maybe billions watching from every corner of the globe. Messi rocking Argentina's iconic blue and white, Ronaldo leading out Portugal one last time. 90 minutes, one winner, one unbelievable moment that could define football history forever. If we get that match, it's not a game anymore. It's a massive global event that people will be talking about for generations.
History, waiting to be written. The legacy of 2026. So, when you zoom out, this is exactly why the 2026 FIFA World Cup has the very real potential to go down as the greatest World Cup ever played.
Because at the end of the day, it's never just been about the trophies, has it? It's definitely not just about the goals. It's about the stories, the lasting legacies, the dreams, the revenge. And the wild possibility that somewhere in this massive new bracket, football history is just sitting there, waiting to be written. The only question is, who's going to step up and be the hero?
And who is going to become the ultimate heartbreak story of World Cup 2026?